All right, we are back. Welcome to Turnbuckle Time Machine. This is our second episode. We're going to be talking a little bit about WrestleMania 42. Some of the highs, some of the lows. Overall, it was pretty disappointing, but we said we'd do it, so here we are. And we will start that right after this.
Turnbuckle Time Machine. Every clip's a backroom dream. From the past to the live stream glow, we rewind and we steal the show. Turnbuckle Time Machine. Every pop, every chant, every scream. Hit subscribe, let it run, let it roll. Where the legends never get old.
All right, young Richard, I'd like to start with something first before we get into the actual WrestleMania 42. Can you tell me why Triple H is not friends with the Truth?
Can I tell you why Triple H is not friends with the Truth?
Yes.
As far as our Truth?
No, as he's a liar.
Oh, as a liar. Okay. I don't know. All I know is that since he's taken the reins, the quality has went down. He has no idea how to put together a creative team.
Okay, but that's not answering my question.
I know.
Let me tell you why.
Okay, you tell me why, because I don't know. I
Let me
can't
tell you
figure
a little
anything
story
out.
before we get into the bones of the WrestleMania 42. I saw him
Okay.
in an interview a few days ago, and he said that the first time he really had control over the creative of a whole show was WrestleMania 40, which was a really good WrestleMania, right?
It was, yeah.
Well,
40 was good.
Okay, so he's full of crap. His first one was WrestleMania 41, which people are still talking about how bad that was. And let me tell you why he's not being honest with us. So at that time, Vince McMahon was still with the company.
Mhm.
And as you know, if you know anything about Vince, the day after WrestleMania, he's already planning for the next one.
Yeah, he was a great he was a great organizer that way.
And that's why a lot of his were really, really good. So the thing is, Vince McMahon was released January 26th, 2 months ahead of WrestleMania 40. Are you telling me that they had nothing in place at all, and this moron put this whole really stellar card together in 2 months, remembering also that at that time WrestleMania was early April, not mid-April like it is
Right.
now.
Yeah.
And he claims this was all his. No. He took a bunch of ideas that Vince McMahon already put together, put those into place, threw in maybe one or two things, maybe, if any, because he's not that bright, and claimed it to be all his. No, we saw what he does in WrestleMania 41 and 42.
Oh,
And that was not even close to the quality of WrestleMania 40.
no,
So,
night and day. Night and day.
So, Triple H, if you're not going to tell us the truth, can you stop talking, please? Because it's just hurting all of us. You bitch.
Well,
okay, now let's get on to WrestleMania 42.
Yeah.
Let's briefly talk about when I mean briefly, because that was horrible. That has got to be one of the worst WrestleMania events I've ever seen. Thankfully, I'm actually saying thankfully this time they stretched it out into 2 nights, because if it would have been that, they would have buried themselves.
Yeah, it was bad.
The one thing that I want to talk about, which I just heard about today, which I think is important. A lot of people are upset that Randy Orton lost.
I was. Yeah, I was one.
I was too. But I found out that as of Friday night, Randy Orton was going to win. As of Saturday morning, they changed it because, again, he apparently has another back injury.
I heard them mention that on the internet today. Yeah, that he had a back injury that was bothering him before the match started. Yeah.
Yes. So at that point, I guess they figured there's no point making him champion if he's going to be out for a while. So that
Yeah.
was changed at the last minute. All of the other matches, I don't even, the ones that were decent were predictable. Like, you knew the one between Stephanie and Liv Morgan. You knew once Raquel and Roxanne came out. You know Sky. No, sorry, not you, Sky.
Wrong one.
That's the next day. You knew that
Yeah.
you knew that there was going to be interference. So for Liv Morgan, that was kind of a cheap win, but it was so predictable.
I would have liked to see Liv, even if she cheated to win. I would have liked to see her win just one-on-one.
Yeah.
It cheapens it when the Judgment Day, the two girls come in and help her. That just cheapens the win. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah, and we also knew, we talked about this, that Braun Breaker was going to interfere in the
As soon as you
Seth
told me
Rollins
he was
match,
cleared, yeah,
and
as soon as you told me he was cleared, I
that
knew
was,
it.
and I kind of understand why they did that, because they had Gunther win, but it wasn't a clean win. So but you know what? Everybody knew it was going to happen. Like, there was
Yeah,
no surprise there.
yeah. If you found out that Braun Breaker was cleared medically, you knew he was going to get involved. It was just a no-brainer.
The AJ Lee match was not anything spectacular.
Becky, I found, and I had my doubts about her as time went by. She's really a shitty wrestler. I mean, AJ Lee has quality of her matches has went down since 10 years ago when she was actually very good, but Becky Lynch is not that good.
See,
She really isn't.
I have to disagree with that. I think she's a really good wrestler. Um,
Mm.
Sports Illustrated says so.
Well, let's believe that. Yeah.
But I think that she just got sick and tired of carrying AJ Lee. This was their fourth match. She carried her every single one. And I think they really have a dislike for each other, because the dislike between Seth Rollins and CM Punk is real.
Oh, it's real. Oh, there was never any
So
doubt about that.
why wouldn't that carry on to Becky?
Yeah.
But I just think that she just said, you know what, screw this. I'm not carrying her anymore. I'm going to let everybody see how shitty she is, and I'm just going to beat her. But
But
the
to me,
thing
it
is,
made her look shitty. To me, it made her look shitty, though. At the cost of making her look
well,
shitty, maybe that was it. I don't know.
that's just your opinion.
And
And
I'm entitled to it. That's the whole
about
idea
to
behind this
say,
podcast.
and you are allowed.
Yep,
I
this was
mean,
the whole thing.
I mean, it's not my fault. It's wrong, but you're entitled
Well,
to it. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, because the big issue is that everybody said that night one should have been called Commercial Mania, and I agree with that
mhm,
100%. But I have a little stat for you.
mhm.
How would you like this? The or the show was 4 hours, right?
Yes. Yep.
How much time do you think was fight time? Not walking to the ring, not commercials, anything. Just in ring action.
Not even a quarter, I would say. Maybe a
Well,
little over, maybe a little over a quarter, but not much over a quarter when you think of all the advertisements Netflix had. I don't know how ESPN did it, but I know Netflix had a lot of like 8 commercials at a time, and there had the drumstick people with the drumstick band was on the first night, and then the Minute Maid crew was on the second night. And then, you have to take time to show all the celebrities out in the audience who some of them I didn't even know. Yeah, the funniest one was the San Francisco 49er that kept drinking beer all the time and looked
Joe,
like he was getting
Joe,
plastered.
that that would be George Kittle, and that's why San Francisco can't win a Super Bowl. Their whole team's a bunch of alcoholics.
There we go. Now
So
that I agree with you.
now the actual fight time
Yeah.
was an hour and 23 minutes out of 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
2 hours, 37 minutes of nonsense.
Well, this is probably why the minutes were the matches were like 6, 7, 8 minutes.
They were
I
all
think the
short.
only match that went long was Drew and Jacob went, I think, 14 minutes, and
That again,
and
that was
Cody and Randy went.
ridiculous.
I think those are the only two that went long. All the other ones went 6, 7, 8 minutes. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was Drew McIntyre, I would get the hell out of WWE. Like, what are they doing to this guy? Like, seriously,
Well,
how about, and why does he take it?
yeah, I don't know why. They must be paying him a fucking shitload of
Well,
money.
you know
But
what?
what
Or there's other people they're paying a shitload too, who they're not treating like this.
That's true. No, you have an excellent point. But
He
regarding that match,
he's just fodder. That's
yeah,
all he is.
regarding that match, you and I were talking about it. An unsanctioned match
With
means
no blood.
absolutely jack shit if there's no blood. Because an unsanctioned match is them saying, "Listen, they're going to tear each other apart. They're going to break bones. They're going to rip each other apart." Well, and there should be blood if you're going to be talking like that. I was thinking, they should have put him in a cage, but then I thought about it today. You know what? They should have just made it a no DQ match, because a non-sanctioned match, that was far from a non-sanctioned match. Oh, they brought out the toolbox. Drew used it once on Jacob's face, and you could tell he wasn't doing anything to him. Yeah, I mean, I was, as you know, on the last podcast, I was thinking Drew, I was taking Drew. I'm a big Drew fan, that's why. But no, he is being treated rotten. And I mean, listen, he could go to AEW, and Tony Khan would be an absolute fool not to push him as number one.
You pay him more.
I could see him and MJF going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great match.
Absolutely. I would watch that.
I don't know. Like I said, overall night one, I just it wasn't anything special for me. Only thing I'll say on a positive note about the first one, and this is really pushing it, I Show Speed did a lot better than I thought he would, but not enough to help the match mean anything.
So I actually, as far as I'm concerned, for night one, I Show Speed jumping off the ring post.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of the night.
Yeah.
Too bad it got fucked up with when he was being slapped by, I think it was LA Knight, who was about 2 feet away when he was slapping him. And
Yeah.
and then there was Uso and his spear, which that was pathetic. I will say there were a lot of mistakes made in the first match, but surprisingly, they weren't made by Show Speed. They were made by the professionals.
Yeah.
So that's
I
night
agree.
one. Just horrific. I was watching that with Cody, and it was, after it was over, it was like we just looking at each other saying, "What did we just watch?"
Imagine there were people paying $16,000 to $30,000 per ticket
I
for
know.
front row to watch that shit.
And to have their name put on the mat. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, so night two was better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better. Still not enough to salvage the event. Here, I can say that we knew when BFAB and Mishin came out, Io Sky was going to come out.
Yeah, that was another predictable moment.
We knew that. The most unpredictable thing, and this actually makes a lot of sense to me, the most unpredictable thing was Brock Lesnar retiring.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
No.
That was a wow moment.
No. Creative nobody knew about it.
No,
Triple
I
H
heard about that today too.
Triple H didn't even know. So
Yeah.
Now what they're talking about with him is maybe he'll be on Raw tonight, and to just explain why.
Apparently him and Gunther are for sure going to be on Raw tonight.
Yeah.
Him and Gunther.
And then Gunther's going to challenge him for like SummerSlam. You know what?
No,
Um,
it's actually Clash, I think.
oh,
The next the next one. Yeah, I
well,
think. I think.
I'm saying if you retired, stay retired. Um, you got retired by the best guy who could retire you. You being
Mhm.
retired by Gunther is it's just too unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that whole shtick with him being the retirement guy, that's
Mhm.
over. It's done. So
Well,
um,
now they're talking about Roman Reigns and Obafemi challenge is looking at Roman Reigns next as a possible opponent.
the big concern people had is, well, if Roman Reigns wins, he's going to be a part-time champion. Well, he's already announced he's going to be full-time at least until
Yeah.
SummerSlam. But
Yeah.
let me address that because I've done some math.
Mhm.
Excluding last night,
Mhm.
CM Punk has been champion for 150 to 160 days.
Yeah.
Defended 4 times. That's basically once every 40 days. That's a part-time champion to me,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, just because he's there every week, just up there yapping and yapping. Like, I'm sorry, but he's a champion. Champions fight. They
Well,
start up
Stone Cold
something.
did when he had the belt. Cena did when he had the belt. Triple H did. Vince always found out to get a match, whether it was okay, Triple H, you pissed me off, so tonight you're defending your title against Mick Foley or whoever.
Yeah.
And again, that reflects back on how Vince ran things
So
compared to how Paul Levesque is
it's
running
it's
things, right?
it's like just like Bloody Night and Day. So
He gave people their money's worth. Triple
and,
H isn't. He's ripping them off.
and that match was definitely the best match, and it had to be.
Hmm.
And see, again, for these clowns who say, "Well, we don't want Roman Reigns champion because he's only part time." Okay, first of all, most people do want him as champion because he's
Yeah,
exciting,
he is
and
like.
and let's just look at the match he put on for a part timer.
Oh, every time he goes into the ring, he puts on an excellent match.
So him being full
And
time,
this match was no exception. I
no,
love this match. I thought this match was great.
and so him being part time, he made that irrelevant because what you don't want is a part time champion who's not in condition to defend his title.
Yeah.
But he's always in condition. He's always ready to go. And I just thought, yeah, night two, like I said, it was better. They still basically dragged it out for the same amount of time with one match less. So what does that tell you? And the thing that I found comical is that I was watching it on Netflix,
Hmm.
and on Sunday they were showing commercials for tickets for Saturday night, and it was every break they had one of those. It's like, well, you guys are $1 billion company too. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. Well,
Like,
they're saying that it's that the Netflix deal with WWE has been a big bust.
that's what I was
Um, and
explaining.
yeah,
That they basically went out.
yeah,
But it's going to cost a
yeah,
lot of money.
yeah. I have to say, I really enjoyed the ladder match. I thought the ladder match was decent.
There was some good stuff in it.
Rusev did what he should have done. He didn't get too high up on the thing too much. He kind of was the guy who kind of broke things up a bit. Javon Evans, as we all knew he would, looked great in the match. Um, Rey Mysterio, for what he did in the match, looked okay. I like JD McDonough.
He's so
That
underrated. So
that
underrated.
guy puts his body like
He was
gives him
getting,
this body to do what he
he
wants,
was getting everything
and the
done to
guy
him.
gets back up. He's really good.
Yeah, he
I
is
I
good.
like him. I think they should put a belt on him. I think he'd be a good intercontinental champion. That guy is really good,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Um,
And
I
yeah.
think that he's extremely underrated. He's a good
Oh,
performer. He
oh,
takes a beating,
oh,
and
he
just keeps
does.
on. The, I'm just going to be a little picky on one point of this match that I saw, and I looked at Cody and I said, "What the hell was that?" Where,
Okay.
where like Rusev's about 2/3 of the way up the ladder,
Hmm.
and Javon Evans is on the top of a post,
Oh, I think I know what
and
you're
he's
talking
going to
about. Yeah.
jump and knock
Uh-huh.
Rusev off. So why did Rusev jump off to help him? Like that was way too obvious. Like
Yeah.
you're on the ladder. Why are you now leaving the ladder so this guy can bring you down? Like it's like
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
that's where they have to improve stuff like that with like Rusev. Like he's good. They
Yeah.
should be doing more with him, but he should never be in a ladder match. He's just too big.
Yeah. Well, and as far as the women's fatal four way, it was great to see Paige. We all knew she was coming, and she didn't disappoint. She showed up. Um, I think it was too soon to put a title on her. Uh, Now, the thing I think is going to happen, uh, I think the Bellas are going to turn on her.
Oh, sure they will, 100%.
They're going to turn on her
And
as
soon,
soon as the other one gets better
and
and
soon.
can wrestle. They're going to turn on her and say thank you, but fuck you very much, and they're going to beat the shit out of her, and it's going to somehow come up with a feud. Um, I just think they should have given her time because even she admitted she was a little rusty.
Just,
Being
out of
on,
all of them, she was
she
the
hadn't
best.
wrestled in AEW for how long,
Yeah,
right?
out of all of them, she was the best.
That's and that's a shame because you've got somebody like Charlotte Flair who's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
Um, Bailey, no, both Alexis and Charlotte looked good. So did Bailey and
Lyra.
Lyra.
Yeah, they look good.
What happened? Can I ask a question? Because I have to go out and help the wife, and so I missed part of that match. What got the Amazon chicks eliminated? Naya and whatever her name is
All
for
the time.
Parson.
Yeah,
Because when I came back, they were nowhere to be found.
Lash Legend. Yeah, like I mean, they were all just beating the crap out of each other, and then they got beat up, and they were on the outside of the ring, and they had
Oh,
to
okay.
stay there because otherwise it would be like, well, they're going to get back in, they're going to win. But here's
Yeah,
what I want to say: two things about that. First of all, I heard today that the plan was the Bellas were going to win. What I'm going to also say is, if I would have known about Paige when we made our predictions,
yeah.
I would have picked them because that's what WWE does. They bring in
I would have
someone,
probably done the same thing.
they bring
Yeah.
in someone who hasn't done anything and make them champion. Um, and again, why can't you keep a secret? Like I heard Saturday morning Paige was going to be there. Right now, if they would have been able to keep that quiet, the place would have gone
Yeah.
nuts. Instead,
Mhm.
they zoom in on a guy holding up a sign,
I was going
"Welcome
to
back,
say there was a
Paige."
sign with their name on it, and
Yeah,
this is what happens with them. How many times have we seen that? Somebody surprisingly comes out, but there's people in the stands with signs because they already
yeah,
know.
yeah. So you know what?
Again, there's no wow factor. There's no wow factor. The only thing that was wow in that night, like you said earlier, was when Brock decided to retire.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the only thing. Um, like I said, night two was better. I actually enjoyed overall night two.
Slight
Um,
redemption.
yeah, slight, but they needed to do a lot more to make up for the shitty, fucked up thing they called night one.
Oh,
But overall, I'm glad I didn't have to pay any money to watch either night.
no,
Uh, and for their flagship PLE, they dropped the ball big time.
again,
Again, something has to be done. Something has to be done with creative. And I'm going to say one thing. Paul Levesque got the job as all this because he's married to Stephanie. My idea, and I know he would never do it because he's doing things on his own, and he came back for Vince that one time, and that I think Shane would have done a better job taking
Shane
over
would
the
have,
reign.
absolutely.
He would have got himself a creative team, and he would have kept it in the same image as his father, but maybe with a little bit of his touch to it. Because he knows, out of all the McMahons, eliminating Vince, of course, out of the two, he knows wrestling. He knows wrestling better than Stephanie. Stephanie, to me, is just a stuck-up bitch who walks around and thinks she's more important than she actually is.
She's privileged.
Yeah,
That's all.
she's privileged. That's right. See, Shane went out and tried doing things on his own. Stephanie's never done that, to my knowledge, anyways.
No,
But
she isn't.
Shane left to
No.
go make a name for himself.
Yeah.
But I still think he would have done a great job if you would have given him if they would have given him the reins and said, Shane, just make a team. Let's see what we can do to carry on for Vince.
All right.
But he's dropped the ball so far as I consider big time, Mr. Levesque.
So we're gonna wrap this up. I just want to say one more thing. When I was watching Night 2 with Cody, he brought up a really good point.
Okay.
The Sami Zayn Trick Williams match should have been on night 1. Because when it came on there, it just disrupted everything. It was a horrible match. Sami Zayn, please go. Just please go.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you know how I feel about that, but I won't say anything because every time I do, you go. So I'm not saying anything, but you know how I feel. Anyway, about that Sami Zayn thing. But anyways, go on. Yes.
I would have rather seen Carmelo Hayes. So
Bastard.
so at this point, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm done. I haven't got nothing else to say. It was
if it was spectacular, we'd have a lot more to talk about. But it's not.
Yeah, if it was there, we'd be excited to talk about it. The only thing that gave us a little bit of excitement was to talk about all the fuck ups.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up with this. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, like, comment, share,
all that stuff.
Whatever you want to do. Richard, thanks for coming by.
Always my pleasure to share some air with you, my friend.
Okay, we'll see you soon next week. At some point.
Okay.
No, this week at some point.
This week, yes.
Take care. Ciao.
Okay, guys.
Four shadows in the